Hey class, so today we're going to talk about state and local taxes. This is section 2.3. We're going to touch a little bit on exemptions today, which we talked about with 2.2. And there's a little more calculating, whereas the last section we were just finding numbers on a table. We won't be doing that today. We're actually going to do the calculating. So today, calculating state and local taxes. So a couple formulas for you first. All right, state and local taxes. This is like the state of Illinois. So Illinois income taxes, and then usually it's your county. Some cities will have taxes, but most of the time it's your county. So first thing we want to do, and this looks like a lot, but we want to take our income minus, and then we're going to subtract this entire thing. So the number of exemptions times the amount that they allow you per exemption. So you might want to actually do that calculation for the multiplying first, and then do the income minus that number. Or you can just plug that in your calculator as is if you have a graphing calculator that can do parentheses. So once we get our taxable income, that's the portion of the income that gets taxed, you want to calculate what your tax is. So that taxable income from step A times your tax rate, and of course that tax rate, if it's given as a percentage, needs to be switched to a decimal. And then to figure out the amount that's being withheld, it's going to be withheld per paycheck. So you want to figure out the amount of pay periods that you have. So if you paid weekly, that would be 52. If you're paid monthly, it would be 12. And you're just going to divide the tax from step B by the number of pay periods that you have. And that's the amount that's going to get withheld from your paycheck. So if we look at example 1, here's Paula. You can see what she earns. She has $14,775. She claims 2 exemptions. Usually that means she maybe has 1 kid. Herself and her kid are exemptions. Maybe she's married and it's her and her spouse. The local tax rate is 6.5%, and the amount allowed for each exemption is $800. That means for every exemption you get to subtract $800. It's kind of like you're hiding that money from the government when they come to tax you. It's a legal way to do it. It's definitely legal. But that's kind of the effect that it has. So this is from step A, so our income minus the number of exemptions times the amount per exemption, so $14,775 minus the 800 times 2. That's going to get us our taxable income of $13,175. Using that number I underlined in green, the taxable income as a base, I'm going to multiply $13,175 by 0.065, which is my 6.5% tax rate. And that's going to give me the tax that I owe in a whole year. So I owe just over $850 for the year. And then if we're getting paid each week, how much should my employer, my boss, withhold from my paycheck? So the way we do that is we take that tax divided by 52 for the paychecks, and we're going to get $16.47 per paycheck. We have 2 more examples. I already showed you the answer on this one, but that's okay. Let's show how we're getting there. So this is for Paul. Paul earns $12,800. He claims 1 exemption. Tax rate is 2%, which we're using 0.02, and it's $800 again for the amount for each exemption. So taxable income, same as step A from the notes. So I take my income, $12,800, minus 1 times 800. I'm only claiming 1 exemption. I'm assuming Paul is single, lives by himself. That's going to get us $12,000. So we make $12,800. We only get taxed on $12,000, which is kind of nice. Next, we calculate our tax. How much tax do we owe in the year? Well, I'm going to take that $12,000 times 0.02, which is my 2% written as a decimal. I'm going to owe for state and local taxes $240. So if I'm getting paid every month, that's 12 paychecks. We spread that $240 over 12 months by dividing by 12, and that's how I end up with that $20. So there's one more example down here that I'm not going to do, but go ahead and pause it, and I will show the answer in a little bit. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. And there you go.